Hey, welcome to Greenlight. So today we have a bunch of Blu-rays that have come out. I'm pretty full up. I have a bunch of back ends of all these movies that came out. We have Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. We got Zombieland Part 2. And then we got Black and Blue. And that's a phenomenal film. And then we have many other films too. So let's get started right now. So, quickly after this as well, I'm going to give an announcement of the winner of this last giveaway. I gave away John Wick 3. It was a movie code for John Wick 3. So, stick around. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can be a part of more giveaways like this. And we also talk about Blu-ray releases every week. We talk about their special features and how they can help you as a filmmaker, as well as filmmaking tips that we talk about, behind the scenes stuff of music videos and projects that I'm working on and that people are working on around here in South Florida. So let's see, the first film we're going to talk about today. He's one of my favorite filmmakers. His name is Kevin Smith, and he has a sequel to a film of his that's I would like to call it more of. This is more of like his comedies, because he does more like dramedies in a sense. They're leaned towards comedy a little bit more, but like Clerks and even films like Chasing Amy and stuff like that, just because of what the films are talking about and everything like that, are a little bit more they're a little less comedic, and they actually have something to talk about and something to say on film. So we have Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. So this is a straight up carving copy of Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. So Kevin Smith had said that he had taken the script of Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, read the whole script, and kind of like reworked it into this film. And from what I saw from this film, it's nothing like the first one in a sense. It has an echo of it, and I'm glad that it does, because it's more. Actually, I was gonna say more or less, but it was needed, very much so, because of it's talking about in this day and age of reboots and remakes and sequels, because it's not just like sequels anymore. It's just, well, we screwed it up, let's do it again, and let's try it better the next time. So with that being said, we're gonna move on. And courtesy of Blu-ray Dan, we have the back end here. Usually, there's one of the great things that I like about Kevin Smith is his special features. So his special features here usually are extensive, but this film, from what I see, is just. Let's just show it here, but it's like cast interviews, Kevin and Jay interviews, so like the cast interview is gonna most likely just be a compilation of just interviews with everybody that even made a cameo on this film. Kevin Smith has a lot of friends in high places, so then the Kevin and Jay interview. That one's going to be a little bit more, it could talk more technical. It could talk more about the behind-the-scenes stuff, things that had gone on throughout making this film. They usually have one of the best behind-the-scenes documentaries. One of my favorites is Clerks X. It's like you get the director's cut. You get I believe it was 3 versions of the film. and then you get this great documentary called like the Snowball Effect. You could look it up on here on YouTube if you like. I believe I have run into it here before. So check that out. It's great for any beginning filmmakers just to get an idea of the mindset and what hurdles you might come across, just to get an idea for your first project or feature film. Okay, so the next thing I see here obviously is bloopers and then a hair reel. So this is probably a joke because of their hair. I know Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith both have to have like hair extensions and stuff for their hair in this film. So they had to do it with their older films as well. Even in Clerks 2, from Clerks 2 on. So with that being said, we're going to move on because we have another big sequel comedy, actually. This one was great too. I actually got to see this. Zombieland Double Tap. This film's actually a very, very good sequel. I was pretty surprised how they kept it up for after so many years as well. But they have a lot of good running jokes with the stuff in the White House. But basically, they start off in this film living in the White House. If you haven't seen the first one, don't mean to spoil anything. But eventually they do live in the White House. Maybe it'll get you to want to see the first one. So courtesy again to Bluray Dan here. I'll have a link of all his stuff in the description below after this live feed. And then from what I see here, there's some special features. Let's get a closer look. So from what I see here, you see extended bloopers, outtakes, alternate extended scenes as well. The doppelgangers, which is a pretty funny scene about people that look like them in this film. It's pretty hilarious. And then A Day with Bill Murray. I'm not going to give too much away, but Bill Murray has a big part in, I wouldn't say, it was definitely a part in the first film. I wouldn't say a huge part, but it's like a running joke. So it's pretty hilarious. And then also includes, it looks like, the Roots of Zombieland, or the Roots of Zombieland. No, it's like RU, or like ROD, or something like that. It's kind of blurry there of Zombieland. Let me know in the comments below if you can see that here on the right. And then after that, it's like is rules of making a zombie film. So yeah, that's very, very good for any like beginning filmmaker. From what I talk about in the show, everything here, it's for inspiration's sake. So this is a film that you were inspired with in theaters, or you saw it and it just intrigues you as a creative person. Just check this out. Check this making of here. It looks like they're going to go extensive in here. And then it says Making Babylon, which is it's a certain sequence, and it's a whole set that they have to create, a whole world within there. So Babylon is something that they're kind of barricaded somewhere, but again, I don't want to give too many things away, but this is great. You're going to really learn a lot about set dressing and how to create a set, and maybe even put up walls that look like they're very, very large and strong, and can hold off zombies. So then our next film here, we have the next little behind the scenes film here is New Blood. and then filmmaker commentaries. So yeah, this is full up here on this one. So definitely check this out. It's going to give you a lot of great tidbits on filmmaking, and especially on zombie films, which from what I see there, because there is somewhat of a rule in a sense. Now that zombie films are in the forefront of horror films. I'm not big in horror films, but I like zombie films. They feel more like action movies. So right here now you're seeing the steelbook case of the 4K Blu-ray at Best Buy. Great cover art in the front. I'll give you a moment to look at that before we get into our next film. And now we're going to talk about Blue Bloods. Oh, Blue Bloods, what am I talking about? Black and Blue. This movie looks great. You got Naomi Harris and Tyrese Gibson. This is, she's from, I know I've seen her in Skyfall and in the Bond films. But she's done many other films too, like After the Sunset, with I think Pierce Brosnan, another Bond movie, and they were in the Bahamas. It was really good. She was like a cop, really good film. And then again, she plays a great cop. Actually, she's good as a cop. And then see, we have the back end here, from what you could see, courtesy of Blu-ray Dan. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So it says Line of Fire. That's definitely going to be talking about behind the scenes stuff, about talking about the characters as cops and most likely the case that they're working on in this film. And then I see here, Be the Change and the Big Easy. So it could be talking about the city and like the police officers trying to make a change. This film is very, very, it's a very strong film, and it's not for kids, obviously. So this is definitely something that you should check out, and let me know if you like it down below. I'm not trying to give too many things away. I like these cop dramas like this, so I definitely want to check this out. And me and my wife definitely want to see this type of film. Especially my wife, she loves CSI and Criminal Minds, and we talked about Law and Order before, so she likes those cop dramas. So our next film here is Pain and Glory. I don't know too much about Pain and Glory, but this one kind of slipped through the cracks for a lot of people. There's no back end here today, but this comes out, so let me know in the comments below if you check this film out. I see a lot of people that I know, like Antonio Banderas, right off the bat. And you even have Penelope Cruz in there as well. So let me know in the comments below if you've checked this film out. And if you also saw any features on there that we should talk about. Alright, and we have our next film, which is a documentary, which it interests me. I'm liking all these like the Toys That Made Us on Netflix, but it's called The Movies That Made Us, and I believe it's like 4 or 5 episodes. It's not too many episodes on that one. I think they're testing it out, but this documentary looks real interesting, and it's talking about 80s action films and how they have influenced today's blockbuster, all the way to comic book films and everything like that. So let's see. So this is the front end. We don't have a back end on this one, but automatically it's talking about filmmaking. So as a whole, or even influencing certain kind of like genres and everything like that. So our next film here that we have here is The Addams Family. It's the first 3D animated film of theirs. We have a back end for this film, so look forward to that. This is a Universal releasing. So I know Illumination had nothing to do with this one, I believe. Yeah, this is like in combination with, I think I see a little, like, it's MGM Studios, but I think I see what it says there is like United Artists, I believe that's that company. Either way, it doesn't look like Illumination did this one. But it looks good. Like, I wanted to check this out, but it's a little dark for my son. He may not understand it too much, with all the Halloween and stuff like that kind of thing. So this is the back end here, and we're gonna zoom in to see some of the special features. See here, deleted scenes, extended scenes, and then there's a thing called Welcome to the Family. So that could be a good little behind the scenes where they talk about the family to the new generation now that may not know too much about the Addams Family. They even have a live action film out there as well. And then charades with charades with Thing. So Thing is a little hand that walks around on its own, and it's not attached to any body or anything, which is what I said. It's kind of weird. I don't know if I want to show that to my son or anything like that. And then the next one is Life of a Scene. So that's cool and interesting. And the way they word it here, I'm expecting something more like talking about a scene and how they're able to flesh it out through 3D animation and on the computer, and basically from most likely from script all the way to the final product, the final scene on screen. So this should be something amazing and something really, really educational to check out. So please look that up, check it out, and let me know what you think in the comments of that. And then there's Addams Family Throwback. So that's definitely going to talk about like their, past films and what they've done before. And it says and more. So I usually expect like, trailers and photo gallery kind of stuff with and more, but they could, throw in some good little tidbits, but they're usually more upfront about the fact that they have video. They have video of something or a documentary of how they created this film. That's something that they always want to like lean towards. Okay. The next film here, another Universal releasing. This one, I believe people may know about this film, but they're just recently realizing anything about this film. It's called Countdown, and basically it's this lady finds an app that basically can count down to her death or something like that. And yeah, it's not something that's I think it's a new thing now with the whole technology wave. So people are jumping on like horror films with technology. There was another one, I want to say like Escape Room. There's many films kind of like this, like even The Ring, with the VHS tape and stuff like that, kind of gives like a whole like technology, Poltergeist too has that type of thing. This is the back end here. There's no special features. It literally, I feel like people didn't realize this had come out. But let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on this film are. Okay, when we move on to our next film, The Courier, from the producers of Darkest Hour. I'm trying to remember what film that is. With this day and age, there's so many films now out, and it's just, like a lot of times like people tend to like reuse names or from different company and stuff like that, or they rearrange it. And because there was a film called The Darkest Hour, and that was a sci-fi post-apocalyptic type of thing with aliens that looked like a light. So courtesy again of Blu-ray Dan, we do have some special features. This looks more, we got Gary Oldman in here, so it looks more like one of those films. I think this is that lady from a James Bond film as well. I think it was from Quantum of Solace. So I believe it just feels like Nikita type of thing, Luc Besson type film. But I don't think this is his film by any means. So, don't quote me on that part. But basically, this is a Lionsgate releasing. And we have here the back end courtesy of Blu-ray Dan. And we're going to zoom in real quick too. So we just have some commentaries with the director, writer, executive producer, and producer, writer, composer James Edwards Barker. So all right. So Zachary Adler is the writer, executive producer, and director. So then there's another producer, writer, composer. So this is a major collaboration and more of like a lower budget type film. I'm curious of what they're going to say on here about their film, because it's really interesting dynamic and collaboration here. If they're both jumping in on the commentary and they both wrote this film, this is a major, tech kind of collaboration for them to make their mark and have this breakthrough into feature filmmaking, especially getting Gary Oldman on the film and everything. So that's major. Definitely check this out and let me know what you think in the comments below about this film. This looks like an action-heavy type, like epic, like Nikita, Luc Besson type film. So let me know down below. I really love those type of action films, especially like all the 80s action films, like that documentary where they talk about like Mad Max all the way to, like Tango and Cash, jumping around to, like Lethal Weapon and Terminator and all that stuff. Terminator is a big one on there as well. So moving on, our last one here is Bluebird. It's a documentary about a country music festival where you have Taylor Swift on there, Faith Hill. I see Garth Brooks as well, and it's full up with major country music stars. So let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this. Again, I love documentaries of behind the scenes of anything. I'm not sure if this is behind the scenes exactly, but it could be the concert straight up. But they've done like combinations where you walk with the artist or talk with the artist at the end or before a show behind, the VIP kind of lounge type of thing, behind backstage. So check that out. Should be a lot of fun and very inspirational type of documentary. Okay, and I'm going to put myself back up on here real quick and give a shout out to Dog Kid. And Dog Kid is our winner for our giveaway this week. I actually pushed it on to 2 weeks, so thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. Give a comment down below or say hello in the chat to him, everybody. I'm going to give some shout outs on the chat right now real quick. I see 24 Anthony. Hello to you, Anthony Garcia. I see you as well. Hey bud, long time, can't stay and watch, but good luck. No worries, you could always watch me on the replay. That's what this is for as well. Classic movie. Wondering which one you're talking about, let me know. Either in the comments or at this live chat. And then the Rides of Zombieland ? Oh, okay. Thank you, Dylan. Yes, I believe that's could be what it says there. It was so blurry when it was zoomed in it just like meshed together. I didn't know exactly what it meant, but that's great. Rides at Zombieland is definitely going to be talking about a lot of interesting parts that happen in Zombieland. Some action sequences that you see with the zombies and how they kill them. So there's a lot of stuff like that. So let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed that film and what your thoughts on the behind the scenes are. So I'm not expecting like them to be super long, but they could be very, very interesting. So let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give a like. And let me know what you think of this episode. And I'll see you here next week. All right.